The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement, on NewsRadio 570 WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. This is hour number 2 of The Local Show. Get ready for some intriguing discussions with George Powers. He's the owner of Powers Accounting.
George Powers from Powers Accounting and Payroll Made Simple.
Well,
He's
good morning, gentlemen.
a taxing individual.
gpowers.com.
There we go.
So are we in the thick of it? Is this called the thick of it as far as taxes
This is
are
high
concerned?
water mark of taxes.
Yeah. So,
Between now until April 15th. March 15th is a huge, big due date for us, but then April 15th.
So no vacations.
March is the worst month of the entire year because it's kind of like the witching hour. You got sales tax. All sales taxes are due. You've got corporation partnerships that are due, and you have PTET returns and election ends that are all due.
And if you don't know what any of those things are, or maybe one or two, you might want to talk to Powers Accounting because you just throw a whole bunch of abbreviations out there. So worse for workload, but your business is you're kicking butt in those.
We're certainly busy,
right? There we go. But no vacations at Powers Accounting for a couple months.
No, correct. And actually, when I have my new team members sign on, I always tell them, listen, there are no vacations from January through April 15th. Those are not approved. They're not allowed. So everybody knows that when they sign on, that there's no vacations in this time part of the year.
So good time of year to go, we did it wrong last year or the year before. And to make wholesale changes, or are those things better to be incremental?
We'll put you on extension and then we'll deal with it. But you starting a new year every year is a good time to reevaluate and make changes. And the reality is taxes they should be the punctuation on the end of a sentence. They should not be a surprise. There should not be anything terribly exciting about them. And with most of our monthly clients, our regular clients, we don't even meet with them during tax season. We have met with them at the end of the previous year, talked about what they needed to do, had some tax strategies. Now we're just finishing things up and doing the return, doing the paperwork. Most of the time, we're relatively close on the projections, not always, but relatively most of the time. And so there should be no surprises. So if someone's going to owe a lot of taxes, we want them to know in October, November, December, not on April 15th.
Right. No. So you dive in at this time of year. You don't just have your staff going at it. You've got the pen in your hand or the
I wish I could have the team doing everything, and I just sat around watching them. That's always been my goal, but I'm in the thick of it with everybody else.
So the whole, you get into Tom's age and my age, and suddenly all these videos appear on YouTube about what you do when you're retiring.
Oh, right,
You have all these kinds
Everybody's an expert on
Oh, my gosh. What are you going to do?
So in fact, I just, I'll be 62 in a couple of weeks here, and people are already coming out of the woodwork.
Yes.
You got to do this, or you going to do this. I'm like, no.
I was at a networking thing at the chamber a few weeks ago, and I looked around, there's about 50, 60 people. I'm like, I'm the oldest person here. And it was all
scary, isn't it?
I was like, all right. And so talk to me. The things I'm seeing now are Roth conversions and how that, if you do that, and there's very polarizing different opinions about that.
There is no one strategy that is great for everybody. It's a person-by-person, situation-by-situation thing to look at. Roth conversions are certainly a reasonable thing to do. You want to look at it. You want to do some tax planning on it. Are you using up your tax brackets that are available to you? What are you trying to accomplish? Why are you doing a Roth conversion? Eventually, someone's going to pay taxes on that IRA. That's the traditional type or the retirement plans. If not you, whoever inherits the money will be. If you're giving all your money to charity, guess what? You don't have to do a conversion because they don't have to pay tax on it.
You said inheritance tax. I didn't think that was a thing.
No, I didn't say inheritance tax. I said the people that inherit the beneficiaries of the IRAs. So if that's one of the things that goes around an estate is IRA retirement money. You put a beneficiary on it, it goes around the estate, and the receiver of that money has to pay tax on it. So Someone will pay tax on the IRA unless you give it to, like I said, a charity.
Okay, and the growth of it.
All of it.
Well, the base, I don't pay tax on the base of it.
Why wouldn't you?
Because I'm getting taxed twice.
No, it's not. It comes out of your paycheck, tax free.
Okay,
Free tax. Tax deferred, as they say.
You can see the hair standing up on the back of George Powers' neck
tax deferred
right now.
is really the term we use because it's not tax free. And that's an important point. Everybody says, okay, you should put more money into an IRA or put more money into your retirement because it saves taxes. Not really. It kicks the tax can down the road. No, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all necessarily, but it is not tax free. Putting money into a Roth, if you are eligible to do that, all the earnings are then tax-free. That's a different animal. But not everybody is eligible to contribute to Roth IRAs depending on their income. They have now recently, with the changes in some of the laws the last few years, you can now do more Roths with IRA type of investments through businesses. Simple IRAs can now have a Roth component. SEP IRAs can now have a Roth component to it. So there are more flexibilities, but they really have made I'll say a bit of a mess to the retirement rules with all the new changes, some of which are actually very hard to administer.
How would anybody know any of this stuff if they're not you?
Good question.
And a number geek.
It's very confusing. There's a lot of new stuff that's almost impossible to administer in some cases. So, we have discussions. We don't do financial advice. We don't administer any of those things, but we talk to administrators to make sure that what we're doing. But maybe not
officially,
direction.
But you are giving good, solid, here's what you can do. So I would consider that advice.
Yeah, we point people in the direction.
It's not John Murphy. It's not a estate planning attorney, but it's,
We see situations and we point people in the direction they need to. That's what we do a lot in our payroll side too. Our payroll is not just
talk about that payroll thing.
Yeah, it's not just simply, a lot of the big payroll companies now are basically just a giant piece of software. They do a great job pumping out payrolls, but if you want to talk to somebody or if you want to do something that you shouldn't do, they kind of let you do it because there's nobody to catch it. We have a very personal touch with our payroll. People have questions. We get all the time, hey, I want to open a 401k. Do you really want a 401k or do you want an investment account, a different
so that's
account that
you're not going to get that setting up one of these national companies online.
Correct.
They're just going to fill in the blanks and there goes.
Well, the national companies want you to do 401ks because they get paid for those. They make lots of money on putting people into 401ks. And New York State has finally implemented a law. There is a law in New York State now that all businesses that have 10 or more employees are going to have to participate in a retirement plan. It is not an elect in, it's an elect out. Every employee in this state will be required, but forced into to going in with this retirement plan if they don't elect out. And that's something we've been working with our clients on. We'll continue to work with them on.
Isn't that a burden to the small business?
It is a burden to the small business.
Okay.
It's more. I mean, that's one of the challenges of New York State. They keep passing more and more laws without having to deal with the old ones.
All right.
That's one of the joys of New York.
If you want to know any of those things that George just regurgitated from the accounting world, you don't need to. Just call George. 701-1120. gpowers.com, as Tom says in the commercials, gpowers.com. And the payroll, can they get payroll at the same number?
They can, but
Ringo.
the better payroll number is 595-4024. Again, 315-595-4024.
And that's the payroll made simple. And I hear people screaming about their national payroll companies all the time, even what they're being charged. So thanks for joining us, George.
Have a great day.